It's a battle for the Metropolitan Division, a battle for first place. Penguins, Canes, Penguins postgame. I'm Scott McGregor. Let the battle begin. Welcome to Sports for Beginners. This is the show where I cover the Pittsburgh Penguins, Toronto Blue Jays, and take you on a journey through the world of sports. From the fans' perspective, here is your host, Scott McGregor. Let's have some fun. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Penguins postgame, Penguins and the Hurricanes topic of conversation. I'm your lovely host, Scott McGregor. Welcome in, Penguins fans. Welcome in, Hurricane fans. Pens and the Canes. What a matchup we have in store for you here. A battle for first place in the Metro Division between two squads that go head-to-head against one another for just the second time this season. The last time these two teams met, the Carolina Hurricanes fell 5-1 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That is the season series in a nutshell. As we proceed to get into what led up to this game, we want to remind you of our final score that we are going to be touching on in just a few moments. The Pittsburgh Penguins fell 5-4 to the Carolina Hurricanes in a shootout, which also makes the Pittsburgh Penguins shootout woes continue. However, it's not all that bad, Penguin fans. It's not all that bad. Right now, as we talk to you after this game has gone final, the Pittsburgh Penguins are just 9 points behind the division-leading Hurricanes. And with that, let's go right in via the NHL app and the Pittsburgh Penguins hockey app on my phone. Let's go right in to just how these two squadrons finished at the Olympic winter break, and also just how were their records going in to action at the Leonebo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina, where these two teams will do battle in a couple of days to end off the Pittsburgh Penguins' current 5-game road trip. Let's start on Team Carolina, and I made one miscalculation there with the head coaching matchup there. It is Dan Muse versus not Marco Sturm. Marco Sturm is head coach of the Boston Bruins. He is not the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes are head coached by Rod Brindamore. So I made a little bit of a oops there in my notes for the head coaches. That's my bad. I'll fix that at the commercial break. But here's how the Canes have played since the Olympic winter break, where they entered with a record 36, 15, and 6. That was our record for the Canes at the Olympic winter break. The Pittsburgh Penguins at the Olympic winter break, 29, 15, and 12. And one final thing, just before we get to the schedule, leading up to where the records are at game time. Pittsburgh was 17, 12, and 9 the last time they played Carolina, which was back on December 30th, if I'm not mistaken. Gonna make sure I have that correct here. Yep, December 30th. That was last time they played each other. They haven't seen each other since December. The Penguins, let's start with the Canes. We were going to start with the Canes, so let's keep it going there. So, at the Olympic winter break, the Carolina Hurricanes were coming off of victories against the LA Kings, 3-2, 4-3 against the Ottawa Senators, 2-0 over the New York Rangers, going on a winning streak at the start of February. At the end of February, they continued that winning streak post-Olympic break with a 5-4 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning, a 5-2 victory over the Detroit Red Wings to end the month of March undefeated. That winning streak, however, would come to an end on March. And I meant to say not to end the month of March. I meant to say to end the month of February, not March. To begin the month of March, the winning streak that Carolina had going for them, both pre-Olympic break and post-Olympic break, it comes to an end on March the 2nd when they fall 2-1 to the Seattle Kraken, but they quickly picked up victories against Vancouver and Edmonton on March 4th and March 6th by final scores of 6-4 and 6-3. Their latest win was against Pittsburgh, 5-4 in the shootout, which we'll talk about momentarily, but they fell 5-4 on Saturday, March 7th to the Calgary Flames before they came to battle against the Pittsburgh Penguins for the second time this regular season. With that record, they would have a record of 40 wins, 17 losses, and 6 overtime/shootout losses. So that record would be 40, 17, and 6. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Penguins, coming out of the Olympic break, they had a victory against the New Jersey Devils. 4-1 was the final there. That was a victory at home against the Devils. They lost in a shootout to the New York Rangers 3-2. At the end of March, they had a win and a loss, but it was at the start of March that the Pittsburgh Penguins picked up a dub against the Vegas Golden Knights, who they will play tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern in their second of 2 meetings between the Golden Knights and the Pittsburgh Penguins. They picked up a 5-0 win over the Golden Knights at home before hitting the road for a quick pit stop at the TD Garden on the Hall of Famer, the late great Hall of Fame broadcaster of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mike Lang's birthday, where they lost 2-1 to the Boston Bruins. They would later lose the season series to Boston 2-1, but pick up a 5-4 victory to salvage a 3-game homestand in which they lost 5-1 to the Buffalo Sabres, 4-3 in the shootout to the Battle of PA state rivals, the Philadelphia Flyers. So the Penguins' latest shootout before the Carolina Hurricanes was a 4-3 loss in the shootout to the state rivals in the Philadelphia Flyers. That season series, by the way, ended in a tie, as well as the Rangers series ended in a tie. And that actually is currently where the tie of this series between Pittsburgh and Carolina is at. The two teams will do battle 2 more times this month, including next Wednesday in Raleigh on March 18th, 2026 at the Leonabo Center. Hopefully I got that correct. Leonabo Center. I think I have that right, but it's okay. Regardless, still to come on their 5-game road trip before they return. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Unless you've been keeping up to date with the Penguins broadcasting crew and everything to do with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, while Evgeny Malkin is on a 5-game suspension after what happened in the Buffalo Sabres 5-1 loss for the Penguins to the Sabres when the Penguins take on the Avalanche on Monday. Crosby, however, eligible to return Wednesday night from his minimum 4-week injury that kept him out past the Olympic winter break after he last played against Buffalo in Pittsburgh's last game before the Olympic winter break at Milano Cortina. All right, folks, we are going to go ahead and take a quick break since we had a lot to get through there. But before we do, last time the two squadrons met, or I should say in the last 10 games, I should say. Pittsburgh is 4-3-3 in their last 10 games. As of game time, Hurricanes 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. When we return, the matchup between the Pipes. A look back at our head coaching matchup, as we mentioned, which is Rod Brindamore versus Dan Muse. Look at the officiating crew, and then it's go time to break this one down. Pens and the Canes game breakdown coming up as Penguins postgame rolls on.
Hey Allie, did you know we have a books panel?
I did not know that. When is it?
It takes place on the last Friday of each month at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Where we have fun and engaging conversations
about a book that one of the panelists picks.
So, how can I learn more about the show?
To learn more, please visit bookspanel.ca. While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, it's free. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
The Books Panel is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen.
To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. While you're over there, hit subscribe so you never miss a network update. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
CNT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down, nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on CNT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on CNT Radio.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, two powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
Have you ever wanted a talk show that discusses news, politics, the show's favorite sports teams, as well as sports media and broadcast? Check out The Ali Musa Show, where we discuss these topics in a single package. To learn more about the show, please visit thealimusashow.ca. While you're over there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, it's free. Enter your email address and hit subscribe.
The Ali Musa Show is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen. To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. While you're there, subscribe so you never miss a network update. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Penguins and the Carolina Hurricanes. Welcome back to Penguins postgame. It is Scott McGregor here, your host of the program. Thank you so much for being with us. Time permitting, we will get into our scoreboard. Another busy night in the NHL on a Tuesday night when this game was going on. We'll touch on a couple of games, not every game, but we'll touch on a few games that went down in the schedule, minus our own. But before we do that, we have to get to the 3 stars of the game. We have to get to the game totals. And of course, we have to break down this hockey game. It's Rod Brindamore versus Dan Muse. That is the coaching matchup in this showdown we have for you. With that being said, we look ahead to our goaltending matchup. But before we get to spotlighting our netminders, let's look at our officials. Wearing the numbers 31 and number 2 worn by John McIsaac as one of our referees. The number 31 is being worn by Michael Markovic. They were your referees for Tuesday night's contest between the Pens and the Canes. The officiating crew linesmen, or as they are referred to in the women's game, lines person. They are number 56, Julien Frenier. I'm going to go with Julien F, just in case I pronounced it wrong. I apologize. And number 97, Jeremy Faucher. Jeremy Faucher. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'll go with Jeremy S, just in case I pronounced it, Jeremy F, excuse me, just in case I pronounced it wrong. So we're going to go with Julien F and Jeremy F, along with John McIsaac and Michael Markovic as your referee and linesman for this contest. Between the pipes for Dan Muse, he's going with Stuart Skinner, with Artur Shilovs getting the night off, but also in at backup for the Penguins if needed. Carolina counters with the backup being number 32, Brandon Bussey, Brandon B. I'm going to go with Brandon B, just in case I pronounced that wrong. And they will counter between the pipes against Stuart Skinner. They will counter with former Toronto Maple Leaf, goaltender. Yes, this is true. This guy, Frederik Andersen, used to play for the Maple Leafs. He will get the start against Stuart Skinner. Frederik Andersen is going to get the start for Carolina against Stuart Skinner. So it's Skinner versus Andersen between the pipes in round 2 of 4 between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Carolina Hurricanes. The action started off with a bit of a blunder for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but they quickly found a way to get right back into the hockey game late in the first period of play. Hey, this is nothing new. We saw this with Boston. Let's go ahead and share our screen and get you all caught up on the action. It's time for the first period recap. Here we go. Here we go, folks. And I'm going to go ahead and take off our, I can't really take off our captions here, but I'll move them away from our sideline here. Here we go, folks. Move them. Yeah, we'll move them over there. The captions. There we go. There we go. Here we go, folks. It started off with, as I said, Penguins blunder as they took an early penalty. Connor Clifton taking a penalty 1 minute, 16 seconds into the first period. 2 minutes for delaying the game, puck over the glass. The Penguins go to the first PK of the evening. First power play of the evening belongs to Carolina. But the Penguins are able to kill off the penalty, so we remain scoreless at 0-0. At the 13-minute, 53-second mark, it's Carolina's turn to go on the penalty kill as Jackson Blake receives a 2-minute minor for tripping. Newly acquired Elmer Zoderblom is able to draw the penalty. Elmer Zoderblom is able to draw the penalty on Jackson Blake. And that's a guy, by the way, that the Penguins acquired at the deadline. Elmer Zoderblom drawing that penalty. Just before the penalty took place, Logan Stankoven puts Carolina on top 1-0 with his 12th goal of the season. Mike Riley picks up his 7th assist of the season. The aforementioned Jackson Blake also picked up an assist on that goal from Logan Stankoven, his 21st assist of the season. Logan Stankoven's 12th goal of the season. Mike Riley and Jackson Blake on the assist. Jackson Blake, 21 assists on the season. Mike Riley, 7th assist of the year. Later in the frame and after the Carolina penalty is a successful kill for Carolina. He tied it twice against the Boston Bruins. Might as well tie it before the end of one period of play. Anthony Mantha strikes again. Mo strikes again. His 24th goal of the season. Ville Kovanen picks up his 5th assist of the season. And just before the first period dust settles, we're all tied up at a goal apiece. Thanks to Anthony Mantha scoring his 24th goal of the year. Ville Kovanen with his 5th assist of the season. Shots on goal after 20 minutes of play, 13-9 in favor of Carolina. At the second period of play, shots on goal still in favor of Carolina, 12-10. Carolina still outshooting Pittsburgh, but by how much, we'll find out about that later. when we're not on a shared screen. Let's go to the period of action. In the period of action, just one goal was scored in the second period. That gave the Penguins a 2-1 advantage. But in the period, a lot of penalties were called. Andrei Svechnikov leading the way, twice getting called for high sticking, once drawn by Ville Kovavin of the Pittsburgh Penguins at 3 minutes and 29 seconds into the second period of play. Then at 7 minutes and 33 seconds, Svechnikov going for high sticking, this time Parker Wotherspoon to at 7 minutes and 33 seconds. William Carrier also going to the bench here, but this one not drawn by a Penguins player. This one, much like the penalty to Connor Clifton in the early stages of the first period, is just a call by the referee, as William Carrier sends Pittsburgh back to the power play for the fourth time of 5 times they would go on the power play. The penalty was 2 minutes for closing hand on the puck. William Carrier is going to go to the box. 2 minutes for closing hand on puck. That's a new one. That penalty at 10 minutes 20. The other penalty to Carolina went to Alexander Nikishin. I'm going to go with Alexander N. 2 minutes for roughing. Noel Achari also picks up a 2-minute minor for roughing. Both of these penalties occur at 11 minutes 57 seconds. Before we get to the Parker Wotherspoon penalty, let's go to the goal. The goal came on the power play at 11 minutes and 44 seconds. So the Penguins do strike once in 5 shots on the power play, 5 attempts, I should say, and it is in the second period during the William Carrier penalty that the Penguins do score. Power play goal scored by number 17 of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Brian Rust, who scores his 22nd goal of the season. Igor Chinikov picks up his 10th assist of the season. EK65 joining in on the fun with his 37th assist of the season. There was a milestone that was eclipsed there. I think it was for Brian Rust, but maybe not. But speaking of which, that was actually Rusty's first goal of the game, 22nd goal of the season. Anywho, after 40 minutes of play, it's Pittsburgh up 2-1. Gonna touch on the third period of play before we go to our break. At the time, however, Penguins being outshot 12-10 in the period after 40 minutes of play. Overall shots on goal after 40 minutes, despite the Penguins being outshot 12-10 at the end of 40 minutes of play, 25-19 for the game, despite them outshooting the Penguins 12-10 after 2 periods of play. All right, let's get to period number 3. It was at this point, however, when the Penguins were starting to gain a little bit more momentum. They were outshot by Carolina after regulation 16-8, but the Penguins still trying to get a little bit back as they trailed 27-40, 40-27, I should say, in the shots on goal after regulation. But this is where things get very, very interesting. Let's go to period number 3 and find out just how interesting this game ended. We'll get to the shootout after we take a quick break, and then we'll get to the stats and 3 stars of the game following the shootout overview. But to end off this segment, here is what happened in the third period of play. Starting off with our penalties called in the game's third period. Penguins take the 3 penalties in the third period of play. First, it went to Ryan Shea at 9 minutes and 21 seconds. 2 minutes for cross-checking Taylor Hall, able to draw the penalty for Carolina. Parker Wotherspoon picks up a penalty as well, his second of the game. He picked up a penalty at 13 minutes and 17 seconds for holding. Svechnikov able to draw that penalty. Parker picks up a penalty at the 10-minute, 53-second mark of the third period. This one is a tripping minor against Parker, and it's Nikolai Ehlers who is able to draw the call. And then Taylor Hall, for the second time in the game's third period, draws the next Penguins penalty. This one to Christopher Letang at 11 minutes and 42 seconds. Now, it should be noted, Carolina does score on the power play during this 5-on-3 advantage, 2-man advantage, but it was a little bit of a long 5-on-3 because Parker Witherspoon was in the box, as was Christopher Letang, but Ryan Shea's penalty was answered by a goal in the third period of play. Here's how it all began. We start off with Pittsburgh leading in the period by a score of 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Penguins 2, Hurricanes 1. Giddy up, let's go. Carolina ties it up 2 minutes and 49 seconds into the third period as Mark Jankowski picks up his 6th goal of the season and ties the game at 2 goals apiece. William Carrier picks up his 8th assist of the season. Alexander N, his 16th assist of the season. Alexander N has also picked up, no, that was his first assist of the game. And it would be his only assist of the game, but it is what it is. Moving on. Now it's 2-2. Hurricanes aren't done yet. They quickly take a 2-goal lead, first with another even strength goal. This one scored by Seth Jarvis, his 28th of the season. Andrei Shmeshnikov on the assist, his 33rd assist of the season. All of a sudden, it's 3-2 Hurricanes, 3 minutes and 48 seconds into the game's third period. Mention the penalty that was scored on, and it was during a 5-on-3. When this was scored. Alexander N gets the power play goal for CRA, PPG for CAR, I should say, which is the short form for Carolina. His 9th of the season, 4-2 Hurricanes, 4-2 Hurricanes, 11 minutes and 21 seconds in. Sebastian Aho picks up an assist, his 2nd of the game. No, only one, his 1st of the game, I should say. 3rd assist of the season. I thought Aho had an assist already in this one. He only had 1 assist. Nikolai Ehlers, however, 2nd assist of the game. 10th assist. Nope, that's not right either. 2nd assist of the game. Nikolai, did he get it? No, he did not have an assist. Sorry, that's his only assist of the game. I keep thinking guys had 2 assists on the day. But nope, only 1 assist there for Nikolai Ehlers, his 31st assist of the season. That's all right. Anywho, it's 4-2 Hurricanes. But if you think the Penguins are just going to roll over and die down by 2, you got another thing coming, especially against a division opponent. Because guess what? The former Maple Leaf, speaking of former Maple Leafs, when I mentioned Frederik Andersen, who used to play for the Maple Leafs, being in goal, Noel Acciari picks up his 7th goal of the season. It's 4-3 Brian Rust. 20 assists of the season. Igor Chinakhov, 7th assist of the year. Chinakhov with his 2nd assist of the evening. Erik Karlsson also picks up his 2nd assist of the evening, but that's on, yep, you guessed it, a Brian Rust goal. The 2nd time Rust scores in this game. Of course, Rickard Rakell picks up an assist as well, his 17th of the season. And speaking of 17 scored to tie it at 4 goals apiece, with just the 8th goal of this hockey game. And the Penguins had a chance to win this one in overtime on the power play, but they were unsuccessful, which brought us to a shootout. But just to recap, 2nd goal of the game. And yes, he did have a goal in both the 2nd period and in the third period, not in the 1st period, but in the 2nd period, he did have a goal. So he had 2 goals, 1 in 1 period, but that's okay. His 2nd goal of the game was his 3rd goal of the season. Rickard Rakell, 10th assist of the season. Erik Karlsson, 2nd assist of the game. 38th assist of the season. Karlsson picks up assists 37 in this 5-4 shootout loss, which we'll get into the shootout in just a moment. But since we talked about overtime, we'll get to the penalty, and that will drop us into our shootout after the quick commercial break. But before we go to the break, the Penguins were outshot in overtime 3-1, ultimately being outshot for the hockey game 44-28, but they were being outshot at the end of regulation 40, I should say, to 27. 40-27 was the shots on goal for the game, with the game tied after regulation. All right, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, overtime penalty, shootout overview, final game totals, and 3 stars of the game coming up as Penguins postgame. Penguins and the Canes continues. Want to remind you that we will also be going over various, not all, but various games on a busy Tuesday night around the NHL. That scoreboard following the totals for the game, the shootout overview, the overtime penalty discussed, and of course, the 3 stars of the game. All of that coming up when we return to Penguins postgame. Stick with us.
Have you ever wondered about the books we've been reading throughout the week?
Are you looking for friendly banter and technology tips at the same time?
Then you've come to the right place.
Check out the Ali and McCara Show. It airs live on Sunday afternoons at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
Until spring. In the spring, we'll switch back to Mondays.
To learn more about the show, please visit thealiandmccarashow.ca.
While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. And besides, it's free.
Enter your email address and hit subscribe.
The Ali and McCara Show is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen.
To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca.
Enter your email and hit subscribe so you never miss network updates.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, two powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
Hi, Scott. It's Ali here. I just wanted to mention that I'm really enjoying the show and I'm really enjoying what you're putting together. And I wanted to just say I'm enjoying being a part of it as well. So please keep up the phenomenal work and make sure you guys keep this podcast going because it really suits you well. I wonder if I could make it. It's almost getting to 8 o'clock p.m. and I am still a few more steps away from home to get to my computer to listen to CNT Radio's Cosmopolitan Culture Club. The best of the best music from around the world. Can't wait. I think I made it. CNT Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time.
Hey Ali, did you know we have a books panel?
I did not know that. When is it?
It takes place on the last Friday of each month at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Where we have fun and engaging conversations.
About a book that one of the panelists picks.
So, how can I learn more about the show?
To learn more, please visit bookspanel.ca. While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, it's free. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
The Books Pen is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen.
To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. While you're over there, hit subscribe so you never miss a network update. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
Keeping things rolling here on Penguins postgame, we want to remind you that our next Penguins postgame show will be part of our Season 5 Sports for Beginners action as we recap Thursday night's game between the Penguins and the Golden Knights, set for puck drop, as I mentioned, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Eastern Daylight Time from T-Mobile Arena. It's pretty much a rematch of where the Penguins, well, you could say they got the better of the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights, they just could not score in that game in Pittsburgh back inside PPG Paints Arena. So yeah, just a quick reminder of that. That game will be on our Season 5 Sports for Beginners episode lineup, and it will also be our next Penguins post-game show. But we can't get there without putting a wrap on this show, and we're almost there. We're almost there. Time now to take a look at the overtime penalty. Actually, first, let's go by the penalty. Yeah, let's go back to overtime for a second and go to the penalty. The Pittsburgh Penguins able to get onto the man advantage after Carolina takes a costly penalty that they kill off. Anthony Mantha is able to draw this penalty on Jacob Slavin. Jacob Slavin is going to go to the box. 2-minute minor for slashing. Anthony Mantha is able to draw the penalty, I should say. Just 2 minutes and 31 seconds into overtime. If the Penguins score on this power play, they win this game 5-4 in overtime. But the Hurricanes come to play and make sure they avoid a PPG for PGH one more time. This time to end the game. So we are going to a shootout. Here is our shootout overview. For the Pens and the Canes, at Lenevo Center, the home of the Carolina Hurricanes, and the site of where Game 3 of this 4-game set will be taking place as the Penguins wrap up their 5-game homestand. 5-game road trip, against this Carolina Hurricanes team. But before that, they have stops in Vegas, Utah, and Colorado. We'll touch on that more coming up later. Shooting for the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 81, Ben Kindle. Number 59, Igor Chinikov. And number 39, Anthony Mantha. Shooting for the Carolina Hurricanes in this one. Shooting for the Canes in this contest, we have number 24, Seth Jarvis, number 37, Andrei Shmechikov, and number 53, Jackson Blake. Here we go, folks. We start in the top of the first round of the shootout. Out of 3 rounds in this shootout, and in the top of the first, Seth Jarvis takes the puck against Stuart Skinner. Snapshot just got enough of it, but it is not going to be on net against Stuart Skinner. We stay scoreless, heading to the bottom of the first, where the first shooter for Pittsburgh is Ben Kindle. Shoots and scores! He beats Frederik Andersen, and the Penguins take a 1-0 lead in the shootout. Top of the second round, I should say, in the shootout. Andrei Shmechikov shoots and scores! He beats Stuart Skinner. We're tied at 1-1 in the shootout. Going to the bottom of the second. In the bottom of the second, Igor Chinikov stopped by Frederik Andersen. We stay at 1-1. Heading to the top of the third of the shootout. Top of the third, Jackson Blake shoots and scores. Carolina has taken a lead 2-1 in the shootout. As we go to the bottom of the third in the shootout, Anthony Mantha needs to score to keep the shootout going. If he doesn't, Carolina wins. Mantha takes the puck, goes backhand. He goes on the backhand and stopped by Frederik Andersen. And there is your final. 2-1. Hurricanes beat the Penguins in the shootout 5-4. Despite going 2-1 in the shootout. I should say 2 of 3 in the shootout. Penguins scored once and out of 3 skaters. Carolina went 2 for 3 in the shootout. They get the game winning goal scored by this man, Jackson Blake, who is credited with the shootout winner. All right, time now for the other stats of the game before we get to our 3 stars. Reminder that the play of the game, shake of the game, and on this episode, we will have a game puck of the game, but those are coming up following a scoreboard. Busy Tuesday scoreboard look around coming up in just a few minutes once we are through with our game totals, which are now about to begin. We will give you the 3 stars of the game if you'd like to get in contact with us and get in on the 3 stars, play of the game, and of course, our shake of the game and game puck of the game. When we do it, you can do so by catching up with us on WhatsApp, Discord, or by sending an email to sportsforbeginnerspodcast8231@gmail.com. Again, that's sportsforbeginnerspodcast8231@gmail.com. All right, folks, here we go. As mentioned, shots on goal in favor of Carolina. At this game saw 67 faceoffs. Carolina winning 46.3% of those faceoffs, winning 31 out of 67. Pittsburgh wins 36 out of 67, 36 out of 67 for the Penguins. And of course, Carolina winning 31-67. Both teams on the power play went 1 for 5, which means both teams on the PK also went 4 for 5, killing off 4 of their opportunities on the PK. And the Penguins and the Hurricanes power play units score once in 5 tries. Both teams spent 12 minutes in the box. Carolina out-hit Pittsburgh 28-16. Pittsburgh getting a little bit of the upper hand in the blocked shots with 20 blocked shots to Carolina's 14 blocked shots. Carolina with 16 giveaways, getting the upper hand in giveaways as the Penguins turned the puck over, or rather gave the puck over. 27 takeaways for Carolina in this one. Pittsburgh ending with 3 takeaways. Carolina gets the win in the shootout. Pittsburgh got the win last time the two teams met in regulation by a final score of 5-1. This time the game goes to a shootout, and it's Carolina picking up a 5-4 win in the shootout as we head for the next 2 games, which will be right here at Lenovo Center, and then the next one on March 22nd will be right back at PPG Paints Arena. That's an afternoon Eastern Daylight Time start, but times could change. Time now for your 3 stars of the game, brought to you by on the Penguins radio and TV network. Same thing for the Carolina Hurricanes radio and TV network, their respective sponsors. We don't have a sponsor for this segment, so here we go with your 3 stars. Your 3rd star went to Hurricanes center, or forward rather, as I will call it, Logan Stankoven. 1 goal, 1 point, no assists. Your 2nd star went to the aforementioned Jarvis, another forward for Carolina Hurricanes. So back-to-back forwards in the 3rd and 2nd star spots. 1 goal, 1 point, no assists. And your 1st star, well deserved. I agree with this call here for the 1st star. Alexander N picks up a 2-point night and is your 1st star and is your 3 stars of a 5-4 shootout win, over the Pittsburgh Penguins to even the season series at 1 game apiece. Wow. All right. Shake of the game, play of the game, coming up momentarily. So be sure to stick with us for all of that. But folks, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the play of the game, the NHL scoreboard from a busy Tuesday night in the NHL are covered. And of course, we will get to our shake of the game. All of that coming up as Penguins postgame continues. Stick with us. In 2 segments time, we wrap this one up. So be sure to stick with us. NHL Tuesday scoreboard, play of the game from Penguins versus, and of course, the shake of the game when we continue.
Have you ever wanted a talk show that discusses news, politics, the show's favorite sports teams, as well as sports media and broadcasting? Check out The Ali Musa Show, where we discuss these topics in a single package. To learn more about the show, please visit thealimusashow.ca. While you're over there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, it's free. Enter your email address and hit subscribe.
The Ali Musa Show is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen. To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. While you're there, subscribe so you never miss a network update. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
CNT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down, nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on CNT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on CNT Radio.
Have you ever wondered about the books we've been reading throughout the week?
Are you looking for friendly banter and technology tips at the same time?
Then you've come to the right place.
Check out The Ali and McCara Show. It airs live on Sunday afternoons at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
Until spring. In the spring, we'll switch back to Mondays.
To learn more about the show, please visit thealiandmccarashow.ca.
While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. And besides, it's free.
Enter your email address and hit subscribe.
The Ali and McCara Show is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen.
To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca.
Enter your email and hit subscribe so you never miss network updates.
Welcome back, folks, to Penguins Postgame, Penguins and the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm your host, Scott McGregor. Welcome back. Great to be with you. Great to have you with us along for the ride. A quick thing I want to get to before we get to the shake of the game, the player of the game, and the NHL scoreboard, as we're going to go ahead and share the screen. I want to remind you that this game, which took place at Leonovo Center, was played in front of 18,569 fans in attendance, and the game started 9 minutes after 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and finished at 10:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, while we are continually on a shared screen, let's go take a look at the scoreboard. And for this one, we begin in the side of Canada, where the Montreal Canadiens were taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oliver Kapanen getting things started for the Montreal Canadiens as they beat Toronto 3-1 with Jake Evans scoring the empty net goal. But the only goal scored by the Maple Leafs in this one would go to William Nylander, his 22nd goal of the season. He at least puts them on the board, but they fall 3-1 as a result. The Boston Bruins pick up a 2-1 overtime win over the Los Angeles Kings, with Charlie McAvoy scoring the overtime winner. Over in Buffalo, the Buffalo Sabres pick up a 6-3 win over the San Jose Sharks. Down in Tampa Bay, the Columbus Blue Jackets pick up a 5-2 victory against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Detroit Red Wings down in Florida fall 4-3 to the Florida Panthers. Also, a few shutouts to figure out. The Minnesota Wild beat the Utah Mammoth. The New York Rangers beat the Calgary Flames 4-0. Alexis Lafreniere scoring 3 times. The Seattle Kraken fell 4-2 to the Nashville Predators. The Edmonton Oilers beat the Colorado Avalanche 4-3 was the final there. And the Anaheim Ducks pick up a 4-1 victory over the Winnipeg Jets. And we still have, of course, the Islanders, who picked up an overtime victory over the St. Louis Blues 4-3. We still had Dallas and Vegas to go over. Vegas losing that game 2-1 to the Dallas Stars. But we didn't exactly need to go through all of it, but we did. So that's okay. We went through everything. Wasn't exactly the plan, but we decided what the heck, let's go through it. All right, now time for our play of the game, brought to you by on the Penguins radio, TV, and Carolina Hurricanes radio and TV networks, their respective sponsors. If we had a guest on our program, we would give them the floor to give us the play of the game. If we don't get a guest on the show, it comes courtesy of the host, Scott McGregor, that's myself, Joe Brand, and of course, team reporter of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Michelle Cracchiolo, were on the call for the radio side. So the call came courtesy of Michelle. Great call, by the way, but for me, I'm leaning towards, for a play of the game, I'm leaning towards the goal scored by Alexander N that I thought really put Pittsburgh on their heels, because then, of course, you could see that Noel Acciari and then Brian Rust quickly scored to make sure this game could at least go to overtime so that they could at least get a point, which is why they and the New York Islanders are 9 points behind the Carolina Hurricanes for first in the Metropolitan Division. And the only reason why the Penguins are still second in the Metro is because they are a win above the New York Islanders. So the Islanders remain in third place in the Metropolitan Division. Audio credit to the NHL, Carolina Hurricanes, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Here is the power play goal by Alexander N. Good enough for my play of the game. And as we take a stop of share for a second to let the ad roll through, the ad that we've come across here to roll through, we will get you that play of the game coming up as soon as it's over, courtesy of the men on the call, or the people rather on the call, on FanDuel Sports Network, Carolina, for the Carolina broadcast, as this was a regional broadcast, which also means for Penguins hockey action, you probably could get Sportsnet Pittsburgh, which probably means you had Josh Getzoff and the old 2-9er Phil Borg, as well as many others that joined Josh on the show to call Penguins games. But here are the men from FanDuel Sports Network on the Carolina feed with the call of our play of the game. This put Carolina on top by a score of 4-2 during their 2-man advantage. And as you can see on the clock here, there was 8 minutes and 51 seconds left in the third.
He is the first Canes rookie defenseman to 9 goals in a season.
Priority, patiently so, you could tell, was getting Nikishin's one-timer available. By the way, you can see his broken stick on the ice. During all of this, he had to go get a new stick. And that new stick was gold.
Indeed it was. Yeah, Alexander Nikishin finishes the feed from Sebastian Aho on the 5-on-3 power play, becoming the first rookie defenseman to 9 goals in a season in Hurricanes franchise history. So we made a little bit of history there. And you know what? That's good enough for my play of the game. An honorable play of the game, however, we're going to play is the game-tying goal that put the Penguins right back in the thick of things before Jackson Blake's shootout winner. So here is the goal, barring an ad, that sent us to overtime and the shootout later on. Shake of the game going to take a back seat for the... Well, actually, no, we're going to go ahead and do it before we go to the break. Here are the men on the call on Sportsnet Pittsburgh for the honorable mention play of the game. Rusty's second goal of the game, ties it up in the third. Here are the men on the call on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. All audio credit to the Carolina Hurricanes, NHL, and of course the Pittsburgh Penguins, and all audio credit to those regional broadcasts, FanDuel Sports Network for Carolina, and of course Sportsnet Pittsburgh for Pittsburgh. Enjoy. This is our honorable mention play of the game. Brian Rust scores another goal to tie it up late in the third. As you can see on the score sheet there, at this point, there was 41.3.
Setting up shop, passes to Chinikov, up top, one-timer, Carlson, deflection, save, rebound!
And we get a pause there as Josh Getzoff was saying that the Penguins got a rebound. Let's play that again, and let's see if this time we don't get interrupted when Josh is saying the fact that the Penguins got a rebound.
Setting up shop, passes to Chinikov, up top, one-timer, Carlson, deflection, save, rebound, they score! Brian Rust! And these Penguins Penguins will two with 2 minutes to go. They tied the game.
Time they didn't have to rush anything, but they also knew we need to get the puck to the net.
And you know what? That is the voice of the old 2-9er Phil Borg alongside, and we also had Michelle Craigiolo and Joe Brand on the call on the radio side. So great call by Joe and Michelle on the radio. Great call by Josh and Phil on the TV side. What a game by both teams. We are going to have the shake of the game. I wanted to do it before the break, but we are going to go ahead and take a quick 30-second timeout. On the other side of a 30-second timeout, in between the shake of the game and the game puck of the game, we will set the scene for who's up next for the Hurricanes prior to their next showdown Wednesday against the Penguins, and who's up next for the Penguins prior to their next matchup with the Canes. Penguins postgame will wrap it up on Penguins and the Hurricanes. Round 2 of their current 5-game road trip is underway. We will get you set up with who else remains on that road trip in between the shake of the game and the game puck of the game. Also on that note, who's up next for the Canes heading into their matchup on Wednesday against Pittsburgh? Now, before the show is up, when is the next Penguins postgame? Is it a part of Season 5 of Sports for Beginners, the podcast? All of it coming up when we wrap up in 30 seconds. After this, quick word from our folks at the Musa Slobodian Network, where great conversations happen with some friendly banter mixed in. We're back after that word to wrap it up on the other side.
Hey, Allie, did you know we have a books panel?
I did not know that. When is it?
It takes place on the last Friday of each month at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Where we have fun and engaging conversations
about a book that one of the panelists picks.
So, how can I learn more about the show?
To learn more, please visit bookspanel.ca. While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, it's free. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
The Books Panel is part of the Musa Slobodian Network, where good conversations happen.
To learn more about the network, please visit themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. While you're over there, hit subscribe so you never miss a network update. Enter your email and hit subscribe.
All right, folks, welcome back to Penguins postgame, Penguins and the Hurricanes. And of course, we like to remind you that we have more games coming up for you on Penguins postgame. But again, this is Penguins and the Hurricanes. Penguins fall 5-4 to the Carolina Hurricanes in the shootout. What a day it was in Raleigh. What a night it was. And we had a lot to talk about as this game came to an end. As we'd mentioned over the course of the show, the Pittsburgh Penguins remain 9 points out of first place in the Metropolitan Division. They remain in second place because they are a win above the New York Islanders, who are in third place. But the Islanders and the Penguins are tied in points, and both teams are 9 points behind the division leading Carolina Hurricanes. All right, time now for the shake of the game, inspired by the segment, I should say, by the Milkshake Factory ad created by former Pittsburgh Penguin Jake Gensel. And that was what inspired this player of the game segment we call the shake of the game. Rusty shakes, as long as Brian Rust scores, are half off at the Milkshake Factory at your local Pittsburgh Milkshake Factory. And of course, if the Penguins scored during the Big Mac attack in the final 5 minutes of any third period game that they play in this season, all you have to do is grab the McDonald's app, I should say. And when the Penguins score on the Big Mac attack, you'll receive a free Big Mac offer with purchase right on your phone at your local Pittsburgh McDonald's dealers. All right. Want to also mention that we are going to get you into when the next Penguins games are and Hurricanes games are. As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and start off as we get to the shake of the game. We are going to start off by revealing to you the Penguins' next 5 games. before we get to the shake of the game that will start on the Penguins side of things. So let's go ahead and go share the screen and get you set up for Penguins hockey action ahead of their next showdown, the Carolina Hurricanes. Their next 5 games include one of their next 3 home games, which will be against the Winnipeg Jets. But starting it off from where the road trip will continue, tomorrow their 5-game road trip continues as they battle the Vegas Golden Knights at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. They battle the Golden Knights for the final time this season. Also for the final time this season, the Pittsburgh Penguins will go one-on-one with the Utah Mammoth. After the Utah Mammoth won the game in Pittsburgh, the first time these two teams met, Pittsburgh will be looking to get the win on the road in Utah. But first, they got to focus on Vegas tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Utah is Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then that 5-game road trip dips down to 2 games in the road trip as they head to Monday and Wednesday's game. Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, they take on Nathan MacKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche. Evgeny Malkin is eligible to return on that game night as he will miss the final game between the Vegas Golden Knights. He will also miss the game against the Utah Mammoth. He is eligible to return against the Avalanche on Monday night. Speaking of returning players, Crosby is eligible to return off of his injury, his minimum 4-month injury that took him out of action past the Olympic winter break, since it occurred during the Olympic winter break and after the Penguins beat the Buffalo Sabres in their last matchup before losing 5-1 March. Crosby is eligible to return to Wednesday's game when the Penguins battle the Hurricanes one more time in Raleigh before their upcoming 3-game homestand features 2 afternoon games, including an afternoon showdown against the Winnipeg Jets at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then showdowns with Carolina and Colorado. But as for their next 5, they will take on Vegas tomorrow night, Utah Saturday night, Colorado Monday night, and then it's right back in action against the Carolina Hurricanes to wrap up their 5-game road trip before taking the ice Saturday afternoon against the Winnipeg Jets. Could first place be on the line when these two teams clash again on Wednesday night? I don't know, and neither do you. One thing we do know is that the Penguins are going to need to take care of their business over the course of their 5-game road trip that started with a loss against the team they will do battle with on Wednesday night. In the same place, Tuesday's game this week took place, Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Pittsburgh Penguins shake of the game recipients for me. How about that game from the Rusty Razor? 3-point night for him. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. He had 3 shots on goal, 1 power play goal. And then, of course, I mean, you could blame the defense, you could blame the offense for the Penguins as to why they couldn't get the thing done, but you cannot blame Stuart Skinner. You cannot blame Stuart Skinner for how he played in this game and how the game ended. Stuart Skinner stood on his absolute head. I thought Stuart played a really nice game. Heck, he could have been the first star, just like he was the last time these two teams played. He was the first star of that game. What a game he had. Yeah, he gave up a goal on the power play, 3 goals at even strength, 4 goals all told, but so did Frederik Andersen. Hey, it's side, even though Skinner saw 44 shots, he made 40 saves. So he had 40 saves and 4 of the 44 shots went by him. 3 at even strength, 1 on the power play. Not too shabby. I also like the save percentage he got out of this game. 909. Not too shabby for Stuart Skinner. I like it. Stuart Skinner, Brian Rust, shake of the game recipients for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'll get to the game puck of the game recipient once we go over the Carolina Hurricanes schedule. But speaking of that, before we get there, here are the recipients for Carolina's Shake of the Game. And just like we did with the Penguins, goaltender Frederik Andersen. Frederik Andersen is going to get the first one with 4 goals given up, 1 on the power play, 3 at even strength, 24 saves on 28 shots, a save percentage of .857. Not exactly ideal, but I'll take it. And how about the performance from guys like Seth Jarvis? Dude, one of the shots went by Stuart Skinner. If the Penguins weren't playing and Stuart Skinner wasn't on his game, I could see 9 of these shots that Seth Jarvis took going behind the cage and in the back of the net. And we could be talking about a totally different game than a 5-4 shootout loss for the Penguins. Wow. I mean, Seth Jarvis, he was really on. He just kept coming with shots on goal. Another guy that kept coming with shots on goal was Sebastian Aho. He had 5 of them. Wow. Okay. So Seth Jarvis, Frederik Andersen, Shake of the Game recipients for the Carolina Hurricanes. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, Brian Russ and Stuart Skinner getting those honors as well. Game puck of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes. We only have one that we're going to give out, and that goes to Alexander Nikishin. It's going to go to Alexander Nikishin. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Was a +2, had 2 shots on goal, both of which, I should say one of which, went behind Stuart Skinner. We'll get to the Penguins game puck of the game recipient in just a moment. But right now, let's go take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Carolina Hurricanes. Coming up for the Hurricanes in their next 5, they are currently on a 2-game homestand that wraps up on Thursday night. That's tomorrow night, when they will take on the St. Louis Blues. They head to Tampa Bay and Columbus on a short 2-game road trip shortly after that. Both games, I should say all of the games in the next 5 games for Carolina are at 7 p.m., including the road game in Tampa Bay this Saturday on March 14th at 7 p.m. and the game at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night, March 17th. They will also play the Pittsburgh Penguins, as we mentioned, on Wednesday, March 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then rounding out their next 5 with the start of a 3-game road trip that will start in Toronto and end in Montreal, with a visit to PPG Paints Arena in the record books there. But first, they end their short 2-game homestand, go on a 2-game road trip with a back-to-back, including the home game against Pittsburgh, another home game against Pittsburgh, which is Wednesday, and then they are off to take on the Maple Leafs from Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Maple Leafs and the Hurricanes, Friday night, March 2026. So to round it out, St. Louis is up next for the Hurricanes, followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then once again back to battle with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then it's Austin Matthews and the crew of Toronto taking on the Carolina Hurricanes in Toronto to kick off a 3-game road trip. And with that, that leads us to our Penguins game puck of the game recipient. And guess what? I would have given that to an honorable mention for Penguins postgamer, but I'm going to give it to Stuart because I thought Stuart played really, really well. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he starts Wednesday night's game in Raleigh, following these next 3 games on the road in Vegas, Utah, and of course, Colorado, before they duke it out again. All right, folks. The shake of the game puck of the game out of the way, the scoreboards out of the way, the game breakdown out of the way. These 2 teams will duke it out one more time from the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina on Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. Before they meet one more time against one another inside of PPG Paints Arena in a couple of days to close out their season series. The question remains, who's going to get the lead come Wednesday? And who is going to get the win come their game Sunday, March 22nd, 2026? Will it end in a tie? We won't know that until we know who has the lead in the season series. Is first place in the Metro going to be on the line when the teams meet on Wednesday? We don't know that yet, but it very well could be the case. If Carolina loses games leading up to Pittsburgh and doesn't gain any momentum, and if Pittsburgh takes care of their business against Vegas, Utah, and Colorado, we very well could see that happen come Wednesday night. Our next Penguins postgame show is indeed part of our Season 5 coverage, and we will bring that to you on Friday, March 13th, 2026, as Season 5 enters its third episode of the programming. And this will be a Penguins post-game themed show. In place of the game puck of the game on this show will be Bucko Check-In. We will do Bucks and Pucks before the end of the show, and that will be around the play of the game and the shake of the game. So we will still do the 3 stars of the game. Perhaps we'll go around the league and take a look at the Thursday scoreboard. A lot will depend on how the game on Thursday goes down between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Then our next Just Penguins post-game show, it'll be a bonus show, will be coming your way as a double dose on Tuesday as we recap the game Saturday and Monday between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Utah Mammoth, and the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Colorado Avalanche. 2 games, 2 different days. I wonder what will be in store on our Penguins postgame when we get there. One thing's for sure, we know that despite the Penguins losing this one, they get a point and remain 9 points out of first place as they play 3 games before they will play Carolina one more time in Lenovo Center. In case you missed it earlier, that attendance record was in front of, as we share the screen one more time to show you the attendance record, it was in front of 18,569 fans in attendance at Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Pittsburgh Penguins fall 5-4 to the Carolina Hurricanes, and as a result, the season series between the Canes and the Penguins is tied at a game apiece. Who's going to get the lead in the season series? That answer, Wednesday. But before that, Golden Knights Penguins coming up tonight, depending on when you're catching this. Maybe you're catching this on a Thursday. So until then, Penguins fans, as the late, great Mike Lang would always say, I'll use my spin on it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's dealing with an injury, but that's okay, because when he is in the lineup, that's when I feel like my spin on Elvis has just left the building really kicks into high gear. This was a wild one, but the Pens fall 5-4 to the Hurricanes. Until after Golden Knights and Penguins, let's go Pens. We'll see you after the game from T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. See you then, Pens fans. Thank you so much for listening to Sports for Beginners. If you would like to learn more about the show, you can visit the podcast Facebook page or visit the official website. You can also send us an email at sportsforbeginners podcast8231@gmail.com. As we always remind you, it is not goodbye, it is until next time.